Hello students, in previous video we already discussed about the plant tissue completely and I hope all of you understood very well about the plant tissue. So today we will see complete description of animal tissue. That type of tissue which is usually present in animal is known as animal tissue. We all knows, but there are mainly 4 types of animal tissues are here. Firstly, epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, fourth one nervous tissue. These are the main names or main types of animal tissues, but there are some subtypes are also present. Firstly, if I will tell you about the epithelial tissue, then there are several type of epithelial tissues are here. All of you can easily see. Firstly, we will discuss about the squamous epithelial tissue. Yeah, it's a subpart of epithelial tissue which is known as squamous epithelial tissue, and normally it's known as flat tissue. Flat tissue because it makes a very thin covering over the delicate organs such as the inner lining of our buccal cavity. Yeah. So, squamous epithelial tissue makes the covering of all delicate organs which is present in the animal's body. Okay, which is present in the organism body is known as squamous epithelial tissue. These are known as flat tissues because they are made up of very single layer they forms. So, they are known as squamous epithelial tissue. Secondary epithelial tissue is known as stratified squamous epithelial tissue. Means when a lot of squamous epithelial tissue works together. Means a lot of layers of squamous epithelial tissue makes stratified squamous epithelial tissue. Squamous epithelial tissue contain very thin covering. Okay, very thin layering, but the group of squamous epithelial tissue makes the stratified squamous epithelial tissue. Means when a lot of squamous comes over one another, they forms stratified squamous. And normally we all know they all forms tough covering over our body. Mainly as example you can understand by our skin. Yes, our skin. The most outer covering of our body, it's very tough, we all knows, and it is made up of stratified squamous epithelial tissue. Now it was the second type of epithelial tissue. Third one is known as columnar epithelial tissue. Means they looks like as a column. Okay, and column like structure they contain, we all knows, and these are very helpful in the excretory part such as the process of excretion and that places where secretion occurs. Okay, so that places where secretion occurs, columnar epithelial tissue will present, and small intestine, okay, who does absorption work. On the place of absorption, on all the places columnar epithelial tissue will present, and it's a third type of epithelial tissue. Don't try to get confused. Be clear with every point, with every subtype of tissues or mainly animal tissue. Okay. Fourth epithelial tissue is known as ciliated columnar epithelial tissue. Means when the outer surface of columnar epithelial tissue will contain cilia. When outer surface of columnar epithelial tissue will contain cilia over them, it's known as ciliated columnar epithelial tissue. Cilia means hair-like structure. And these cilia are very important for the movement in animal body. Movement means movement in respiratory tract, movement in digestive tract, because in both the tracts pushing is very important. Now you will ask me, ma'am, in the respiratory tract when pushing occurs? Pushing occurs during the inhalation or exhalation process. Pushing is very important. Pushing of what? Pushing of oxygen and carbon dioxide mixed air. Pushing of that air is very important. Pushing of mixing of air is very important. And what about in digestive tract? In digestive tract, pushing of food material is very important. So, completely ciliated columnar epithelial tissues are present in respiratory and digestive tract because these are for movement, and movement is very important in both of these tracts. That's why. Next part or next type of epithelial tissue is known as cuboidal epithelial tissue. Means here cubes will be present. Okay. Here columns will be present. Now here big cubes will be present, and mainly cuboidal epithelial tissue will be for the support and strength. They provide support and strength to the organism or to the particular part of body. Such as inner lining of kidney wants a lot of strength. That's why cuboidal epithelial tissue presents there. Where? In inner lining of kidney. Our last epithelial tissue is known as glandular epithelial tissue. Means that epithelial tissue which is modified in the form of glands. Glands. Now, if I will ask you what is the meaning of glands, then your answer should be, ma'am, something which is responsible for secretion, which secretes something. Yes, absolutely right. In body, gland secretes. So, that places where work of secretion will occur, in that place glandular epithelial tissue will definitely present. That places where secretion will occur. Now it was the complete theory of epithelial tissue, and now we will discuss about the connective tissue. There is a lot of type of connective tissues are present here. One by one we will discuss about them. Firstly, if I will tell you about the bone, yes, bone is also known as connective tissue. Now one question will arise in your mind, ma'am, how bone can be a connective tissue? Just think, if bone will not present in your body, then what will be the shape and structure all of you will gain? There will no structure be present there. So, bone connect organ to organ in our body. Organ to organ it connect. A lot of bones are present in our body, and in the body of infant baby 306 bones are present, and in the body of mature person 206 bones are present, because 306 fuse together during the maturation, during the growth of body, and they forms 206 bones. Now in second part further details I will tell you. Thank you.